Introduction. Chapter 13 shifts your perspective from individual representation and contract mechanics to the full structure of a real estate brokerage. Earlier chapters taught how listings are created, how agency relationships operate, and how contracts are negotiated. This chapter explains the business model behind all those activities. You explored how brokerages are organized, how brokers supervise and compensate agents, how listings are obtained and marketed, and how securities and syndication regulations intersect with real estate operations. This chapter shows how the brokerage is the central engine that powers every real estate transaction. The core activity of brokerage. Brokerage exists to bring parties together and complete transactions. When a broker successfully procures a buyer, seller, tenant, or landlord, compensation follows through the terms of the listing or representation agreement. Cooperation between brokers, either through co-brokerage or the MLS, expands market exposure and increases the likelihood of successful deals. Skilled brokers master prospecting, marketing, negotiation, and pre-closing coordination to fulfill client objectives. Brokerage, specialization, and legal authority. Brokerages and agents may specialize in property type, geographic area, or client type. A brokerage may focus on residential sales, commercial leasing, land development, or niche areas like luxury homes or industrial warehousing. To legally broker real estate, individuals and certain business entities must hold valid real estate licenses. Corporations, partnerships, LLCs, and joint ventures may broker real estate if the entity and designated officers are properly licensed by the state. This structure ensures accountability, compliance, and consumer protection. Brokerage types and professional organizations. Brokerages operate as sole proprietorships, partnerships, corporations, joint ventures, franchises, or independent offices. Franchise brokerages benefit from branding, referral networks, and training programs, while independent firms retain flexibility and local identity. Trade organizations, including the National Association of REALTORs, uphold ethical standards, provide MLS access, and support professional development. Membership strengthens credibility and ensures adherence to industry norms. The broker-salesperson relationship. A salesperson cannot work independently. Their authority flows entirely from the employing broker. The broker supervises all activities, maintains compliance, and is responsible for all trust funds, advertising, and transaction oversight. Salespersons act as subagents of the client through the broker and must follow brokerage policies and fiduciary duties. Salespersons may work as independent contractors or employees. Independent contractors control their schedules and pay their own taxes, while employees follow broker-set procedures, hours, and methods. Regardless of classification, the broker remains legally accountable for the salesperson's conduct. Compensation and commission structures. Commission methods vary widely based on brokerage size, expenses, performance, and market conditions. Compensation is typically shared between broker and agent based on a written commission schedule. Agents receive compensation for securing listings and for procuring buyers. When an agent represents both sides, they receive portions of both sides of the commission, along with responsibility for paying both sides of commission fees to the brokerage. Clear written agreements prevent misunderstandings and maintain transparency. Operating a brokerage, listings, marketing, and closing. Listings drive brokerage revenue. Securing them requires prospecting, pricing strategy, and professional listing presentations. Effective pricing requires careful comparable analysis and educating clients about market realities. Marketing plans combine staging, photography, MLS exposure, digital campaigns, tours, and feedback management. During the transaction process, agents must qualify buyers, present offers accurately, negotiate terms ethically, and maintain fiduciary loyalty. Pre-closing requires coordination of inspections, appraisals, financing, repairs, title clearance, and deadlines. Brokers safeguard escrow funds, maintain separate trust accounts, and avoid commingling or conversion. Compliance in advertising and communication. Real estate advertising must be accurate. Prominently display the broker's legal name and avoid misleading information. Licensees selling their own property must disclose owner agent. Digital marketing, including websites and social media, is subject to the same rules. Telemarketing must comply with the TCPA, do not call rules, and robocall restrictions. Email marketing must follow the Can-Spam Act, which requires truthful identification and an opt-out option. Antitrust compliance brokerages must avoid illegal practices that restrict competition. Price fixing, market allocation, collusion, bid rigging, tying arrangements, and exclusive dealing can result in severe penalties, including triple damages, fines, and license revocation. Understanding antitrust laws protects brokerages from legal and financial exposure. Business brokerage. Business brokerage combines real estate transactions with the transfer of business assets, goodwill, inventory, contracts, and liabilities. Brokers must understand accounting basics, financial statements, valuation methods, and the difference between asset sales and stock sales. Because business sales may involve securities, business brokers often need additional regulatory knowledge and professional support. Syndication and securities brokerage. Real estate syndication pools investor funds to acquire and manage large-scale investment property. Because investors rely on the syndicator's management, not their own efforts, most syndication interests are treated as securities. This triggers compliance with the Securities Act of 1933, SEC registration or exemption rules, and FINRA licensing requirements such as the DPP Series 22 and Series 39 licenses. Syndications must provide full disclosure through a prospectus, outlining risks, fees, objectives, and financial structure. Exemptions like intrastate offerings and private placements allow smaller programs to avoid full SEC registration under strict conditions. Review Summary, Chapter 13, provided a complete overview of the brokerage industry, how brokerages are legally structured, how agents are supervised and compensated, how listings and marketing function, and how compliance shapes advertising, communication, and fair competition. The chapter tied together brokerage management, business brokerage, and securities-related activities such as syndication offerings, giving you a comprehensive understanding of how real estate operates as both a profession and a regulated industry. Discussion: why must a salesperson work under an employing broker rather than independently? Answer: because the law requires supervision and accountability through a licensed broker who is responsible for all agent conduct, escrow handling, and compliance. What makes listings the financial foundation of a brokerage? Answer: listings guarantee commission opportunities and generate leads, referrals, and buyer activity, creating consistent revenue for the brokerage. Why is advertising strictly regulated in real estate? Answer: to protect the public from misleading claims, ensure transparency, and hold brokers accountable for accurate representation. Why are syndications governed by securities laws rather than only real estate laws? Answer: because investors rely on the syndicator's efforts to produce profit, making the investment a regulated security under federal definitions. Closing remarks. This chapter positioned you to think beyond individual transactions and understand how real estate operates at the organizational and regulatory level. Mastery of Chapter 13 prepares you to function not just as an agent, but as a future broker, someone capable of supervising agents, managing operations, ensuring compliance, and participating in business or investment structures that extend far beyond traditional property sales.